between them two.
Yeah. It technically is.
In group stage, if they tie 1-1, they play a third game. It's whoever gets both wins if they win everything else. First to 2 wins, but let's go ahead and take a look. Teams are going to pan on out to have ourselves a nice starry night on Summoner's Rift for our 4th match of the night.
What a beautiful night to be on the Rift.
Have you seen WE's Skybox?
No.
So what they do is they do a custom Skybox every game now.
Really?
And they actually animate it. I don't know how they do it so well.
That's so cool.
But like they have like stories now of like the logo. It's just so cool.
Oh, look at this. Quake just hovering right outside the brush. Not gonna get himself caught out there.
Are you sure? Hey!
Oh no, Quake!
A Cathian Rain, that's a lot of damage. Another auto attack. Oh, that's a 4-stack flash on forward with the ignite. Oh! Did Sela not actually follow through with the auto? Oh, that's painful. So they won't get the first blood, and that's going to be both Smite and Flash going away. Great start. I'm loving it. This is what I wanted to see.
I don't think that's a Smite. I think that's an Ignite coming through.
You know what? He tried to smite him on down.
That's true.
With the ignite.
Put him in his place. But yeah, we're going into a pretty standard start from both sides. Does look like the Rex side going to start in the bot lane. Not going to have the support from AD carry off that happening. Going to teleport back into lane very quickly. Tries to avoid losing out on all too much. Not a bad call, in all honesty. They shouldn't expect to see themselves getting recalled so early on. So honestly, not the worst thing that could have happened for themselves.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing because, again, you're going to be farming up for the first 5 minutes. Unless they're taking some really bad trades, which is possible. Again, that Karma can poke you up pretty heavily. But if you're able to survive here for the next 5 minutes, you're not going to be feeling too bad. You can use teleport once again to get back in the lane. You're not going to lose out too much.
I know our key player matchup was the, I believe, top lane and jungle on SVR and RSG side. But I want to watch SVR RSG's top lane basically the entire game. Because these are 2 of our strongest mechanical players on the server. Raven is also a very good one, and I think he should be brought into discussion very often. But if we're talking about top lane players, there aren't any other players that come to mind when I think about this sheer mechanical skill that they have in the top lane. I'm really excited to see how this matchup pans out because it looks like Hankrim has the upper hand in the early levels as Irelia still needs to pick up a couple of his spells. Meanwhile, Ice looking for a play down bot side.
Yeah, he's being a sneaky land shark. Got the floaty on too. Looking to path on over. There's the tunnel. Is able to. They flash on top of the Karma immediately. Knockup's going to be there. Beautifully done. Ice going to pick up first blood for SVR.
Full knowledge of the Summoner's spell disadvantage that the Karma had. Walks down to the bot side. Waits out the perfect timing to jump in. Beautiful play coming in from Ice. Finds the first blood for his team.
That was nasty. Just danced off that minion to get an extra blade surge. Just a lot of damage that went on to Shinsekai right away. Nicely done. That's going to force a teleport.
These are the kind of plays that we are expecting to see up in the top lane. Very strong mechanical skill. And they bring that all across the board. They have the macro knowledge as well to make full use of their abilities. Mid lane is going to be a little bit more difficult for Vendetta. The LeBlanc is going to have a lot of pressure up against the Sandra here. The Sandra just has to try and look to push out the waves. Once his jungler is able to find a little bit more tempo, should be able to push out the waves quite safely and be able to manage a little bit more control in the mid lane.
Saw there, Eternal showed in the mid lane. Was looking to clear out that ward. Was pinged out immediately by Vendetta, so going to play a little bit safe. Not too sure where the Jarvan could be. Has already pathed though on over toward his wolves. SVR, they're going to be pretty happy here. Ice looking to make an appearance here in the mid lane. Does still have the flash available. The flash was only burned by Cray on the Braum. Going for the play in bot lane. Let's see, though. Internal going pretty aggressive here. There is a pink ward that'll spot him out. Do they actually run away here in time? It looks like the pings are already going to come out. Do they land onto that taunt? No, Quake is unable to flash away. Already used it. Chompers, though, able to keep him down. Quake survives. And here comes the Aurelia from the top lane, looking to slice them on down. Concussive blows are going to connect. They're going to find it right there. And that's going to be a kill going on over. They do trade 1 for 1, but now Quake has advanced on forward, and the Jinx is going to pick up a kill as well.
What an early game coming in from SVR.
Oh, look at that wave,
Chompers just set up so beautifully. Gets a catch onto multiple targets. Totally slows down the push from Resurgence. They weren't able to get any more off of that. Sure, Shinsekai is going to be able to find a little bit up in the top lane, but how much is that going to mean when down the bot side? Quake, Kra, Yon, and Vendetta all managed to find something down bot side.
That's actually pretty good, too, here for Quake, because his early lane wasn't going to be extremely threatening because he went call right away. That's pretty much, hey, I want to farm up. Let's take another look.
Look at this. Flame Chompers onto both the AD carry and support of Resurgence. Ciela then gets locked down by the Aurelia. No point flash here anymore. Vendetta does go down. They expand the Ignite for it, so they're able to trade back 1 for 3 kills. Still not a great use though, and that just means more vulnerability on the side of the Karma. So that's going to be a little bit problematic for them. We can already see some of the item discrepancies coming through. SVR going to be able to find a bit more here.
Gets the chain. Get some damage here on Vendetta. Gotta be careful though. Frozen Tomb was available for the Lysandra, so didn't want to hard commit. Ice is nearby. Doesn't have the Void Rush available just yet. Still on level 5. Still looking for a quick play here. Does have the flash available, but already that LeBlanc has been able to heal up with the Corrupting Potion.
Yeah, but should still be able to find the kill. They just need a little bit more supplementary damage
Level
coming
6.
in from Ice to be able to find this.
Oh, he's looking for the poke here. Their Ice is going to show themselves finally. Raven just looks to sidestep, though. Gets back to safety. Just a little bit too long there coming out from Ice.
Yeah, Vendetta isn't going to be the one to force the engage. They don't have enough information over where Eternal is, so we'll not be looking for that. Yeah, and Ice doesn't have his level 6 ultimate, so won't be able to get that big jump onto the LeBlanc. That's why they didn't go for that play there. Still good pressure overall. Does relieve a little bit of the effects of the LeBlanc early game.
Ice still looking for a play, though. Has the ultimate now available. Was maybe looking for a dive here on the Hecarim. Could have been a little bit risky. Gets the nice stun there. Decent amount of damage coming on. Gets the Vanguard's edge on. Trying to jump out. Ah, goes underneath tower. A bit of a misplay coming out from the Aurelia.
8-9 is going to be such a critical point for Yon up in the top side. Remember, that's a critical summoner spell advantage that Shinsekai is going to have. Won't be able to use that. Just get a quick kill up in the top lane. Slows down the power scaling that Aurelia is reaching right now.
Quake looks to keep pushing up. Let's take another look at this 1v1 here.
Yeah, not all too much unsurprising, honestly. The fact that Yon does manage to get the stun is nice. If they had communicated that with Ice Destiny, probably could have been able to find a little bit more, but at this point, it was a missed call to go in when they've already lost out this much. We also see Shinsekai drop down his mana to a very low point by the time the fight broke out, but it didn't matter. Still had enough damage to kill off the Aurelia. So those few buffs you're talking about might be helping.
We'll see here. Eternal almost at that level 6 on the Jarvan. Just needs one more camp, and we'll have that available. Can start making big plays. Gonna go ahead and use the Scrying Orb. He's gonna spot out Ice. Ice has just been power farming here. Let's look at the mid lane. That's gonna be the Frozen Tomb coming out. Vendetta not able to finish off the kill, and now Eternal's there. Not gonna pull the trigger.
No, it doesn't have anything to pull the trigger with. Even if he wants to go for the kill, he has to have the means to back that up. The fact that Raven's so low at this point makes it a very risky endeavor. So they're opting to just take the safer play over in the mid lane.
Ice. Oh no! He didn't look. Hey! Oh! It's so close! Flash fight! Yes! Ice picks it up.
Ice is nice, baby. Coming in, gets the kill into the mid lane. It's gonna
Quake with the almost gets the full kill there. Oh, he had a BF sword and a pickaxe. That's how well that bot lane's going for this Jinx.
Yeah.
Tons of damage already.
He has the call too, scaling up at that late game insurance. What a play to the mid lane, honestly. The Super Mega Death Rocket from downtown. Totally unexpected on the side of Raven.
So SVR have themselves the gold lead by 1,700. They got themselves 3 extra kills. Feeling good so far for Resurgence, though. That Hecarim be a threat later on into the game, can get a bit out of control. Has already found the 1v1 success against Yon already. Look at this. Eternal wants to try and make a play, but keeps getting spotted out. Great vision coming out from SVR. Keeps spotting out where this Jarvan is pathing.
This is, so SVR, I want to say, was a team that had the hardware, but not the software going into these matchups. In the previous iterations, sure, when you take a look at the sum of its parts, they are strong players. But when it came down to it overall, they had issues executing the knowledge that they had. Going into this version of LST, suddenly, they're looking way cleaner. They know what they need to do. Sure, there are a few things that they need to iron out, but it's still early on in the competition. They have time to resolve those issues.
Oh, Raven gets tagged here. Ice comes into the mid lane once again. Just getting some damage, trying to force Raven have to play a little bit safer. We do have a Wind Drake and a Cloud Drake available. Senjukai has the Phage completed and the Ninja Tabby, so it's getting a bit of a rough one here for Yon, especially if he does not land the stun. It's going to be an instant call there to go aggressive, and with the Conqueror too, even with the Defiant Dance, can still get a decent amount of damage in a combo.
Yeah, that's a pretty good stat line coming in from the Hecarim. Has the Ignite, so can afford to go a bit more aggressive.
Raven. Just coming on over, gets spotted out, so that's going to be an instant back coming out from Yon. Unfortunately, Senjukai can't really stop that, so that's going to have to go on back. But the Aurelia decides to... Oh, Raven! Sneaky, sneaky. Stealing away the blue buff there.
Cheeky little play coming through to find that blue buff steal, but... I mean, this is... So, to finish my point, Sovereign felt like they were lacking the software. They had a pretty decent hardware, but they needed to get a little bit of an update, and that's exactly what they found. Really liking what they bring to the table this time around. Resurgence, for the longest time, have been in a very dominant force. But it's much closer this time around. Teams are being able to close up the gap in competition. Resurgence, as a team, have a great set of infrastructure. A lot of back-end support that's able to help them achieve the goals that they set out for, which is a great thing for esports in Singapore and Southeast Asia as a whole.
Nice rotation coming out here. They got that Rift Herald immediately throwing it on down into the top lane. So going to try and unlock this Hecarim to try and make impacts around the map. First brick gold goes on over to Resurgence. We'll see whether or not they can find those opportunities. Teleport is available. Newest damage here onto Quake. Gotta be a little bit careful. Almost that call is completed now. Rek'Sai is also near the side, so that's gonna force at least the back coming out from Sela.
Yeah, but very quickly, just finishing up on that. So Resurgence have had a lot of back-end support, and it's looking great for esports in Singapore as well as Southeast Asia. But it's still very heartening to see that teams, despite the fact that they don't really have that formal level of support, being able to match a level of gameplay that is honestly quite impressive. Even if we look at it from, without my personal bias, and I don't go like, yeah, I know I'm from Singapore. I've seen these guys play for years, and it's like, yeah, they're playing great. But even without that, you can still look at it and be like, yeah, both teams are playing it out well. You recognize that there are some parts they can work better on, but they are still early on in the competition. There's plenty of time to get to work on that more. We'll look to see if they have anything else they want to try and bring to the table for us. Oh, you're just going to pick up that red buff. He says, you can take my turret. I guess I'll take a red buff.
I'll steal your red buff. You don't get it. And then Eternal's like, but that's mine. This guy's like, I don't know why he's trying to take it.
Yeah, you just see Eternal sort of camping up top lane. Gets what's rightfully his now. Wow, quite a bit of pressure around this bot side. This is looking a little bit dangerous.
So this is the thing. Once the Hecarim's unlocked, where can they make pressure happen on the side of Resurgence? They opt to try and take down the Cloud Dragon. Have themselves 5 members. Aurelia's up in that top lane. Teleport is available, but I think they're going to opt to just try and get some damage onto that tower. What does Resurgence do after the Cloud Drake?
Not a bad call from Resurgence to pick up the Dragon, but I like the response that Sovereign had even more. They decided that the Cloud Dragon is not worth fighting for. Instead, they're going to try and push out the top side. Hecarim so far already completed his Triforce. That's going to give him a lot of power dueling up against Irelia. Irelia has to try and back off early. Not able to find this turret for themselves. So it's going to be a difficult one to go for. Meanwhile, down the bot side,
Ice gets spotted out by that ward, so decent amount of knowledge coming out for Resurgence, as that's going to be Quake rushing the IE. Eternal is nearby. Ice is right on top of a ward. That's awkward. Can't see him. Says, where did they go? Oh, there they are. Little crab going to pop up there. Ice going to go ahead. Look to secure that. Smite comes on through. Void Seeker's there from Sila, but still not connecting on any targets as Ice looking to just live down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, he probably has to start paying red pretty soon.
Ah, he realizes, there's been a ward here the entire time. God darn it. Still getting some chip damage here onto the tower. There's a teleport, though, coming out from Shen Sakai. Yun looking to come on over. You got Raven that wanted to jump on in. Quake's going to get knocked back, and the Jinx got nowhere to run. No mobility there. Ice gets back to safety. Yun decided not to use the teleport, instead opting to try and push in the top lane wave.
Heavy investment coming in from RSG. They managed to find a 1 kill, similar to what Sovereign managed to pull off earlier on in the game. However, this is not a favorable trade for them. They came in, got the 1 kill. Top side is going to get picked up. Yeah, they're going to be able to find this bot lane probably, but this isn't the best trade for them. Meanwhile, they're looking to try and equalize things down the bot side.
Ice gonna go for this. There's Quake. There's Dude. Hey, there's the Super Mega Death Rocket coming from behind. There it is. Double kill from Ice. The double teleport. And that's just the threat here. Frozen Tomb also gonna connect. Nicely done by SVR as they're able to respond. The turret falling.
Very good response from Sovereign. I feel like that's kind of what's been going on. Resurgence have been setting up plays, but Sovereign have had the correct response every single time. And it looks to be going into their favor right now. They have a strong late-game scaling AD carry who's able to dish out tons of damage once they reach the point where he has his items. So it's a very easy win condition for Sovereign. Not that much they have to do. They just have to try and maintain the lead that they have, don't fall behind, get the Irelia to a point where she can 1v1 the Hecarim effectively, and they're good to go. Whereas on Resurgence's side, it's an uphill battle. They have multiple things that are in their way right now. Raven has to play even more aggressive. He went from having to do his part to having to carry his team. He needs to be able to look for catches onto Quake very often, dish out tons of damage onto Yone as well as Ice, and keep Vendetta in check. So many different things for Raven to handle right now. Whereas on Eternal side, his role is relatively simple right now. As the Jarvan, he hasn't been able to find the best fights, or hasn't been able to find the best early ganks to set his team ahead, so that means that he's going to become sort of an engaged bot. He just kind of goes in, drops the Cataclysm, gets a nice fight, and that's basically his full extent of his duty. Whereas, you know, it is going to be a lot of focus around Raven, who now has to try and do more than just what his mid lane counterpart has to.
Oh, Sovereign going to go ahead, clear out some of the ward coverage here throughout the river. Ice, able to try and jump on top of Raven. Chain's going to come on back, able to catch out the Rek'Sai. Another one's going to connect, and they just take out the Void Shark in the river. Nicely done there by Resurgence. They're able to find themselves an opportunity.
Oh, no.
Yun, he's stacked up at the moment. Oh no, Shinsekai, I think, had a little bit of a misplay there. Vanguard's Edge, Blade Surge is available. Decent amount of damage. Look how many people are committing toward this fight. You have 4 members of Resurgence. What does SVR do?
That was a little bit problematic from SVR. They didn't time that properly. Ends up seeing Ice gets killed off as well as Yone. So they won't be able to find this mid lane trade. Gets they excited, so they won't be in too much danger. But still, 2 for that turret. An okay trade, but that's a lot of shutdown bounty on the Rek'Sai.
It's nicely done there. So they're able to trade back the tower in mid lane. All outer tier towers now taken by SVR. Let's see where they can go from here. They sit 2,500 gold ahead of RSG. Mid-air just going to go ahead, clear out the wave.
2,500 gold to at this point in the game isn't all that much, to be honest, but the difference is that the gold is on the right targets. Currently, we're looking at the Jinx with a decent gold lead over her counterpart. The Kaisa is going to take a while to scale up, whereas Jinx already with a 2-item power spike.
Quake tries to get to safety there, gets knocked back immediately. Kra tries to intercept the damage, but the Jinx keeps getting targeted. Ice going to go into the Void Rush. Raven able to avoid the damage, but now they're looking to collapse here onto Ice, and he's got not a whole lot of options to go. Maybe going to go for a back here. Raven's going to check with the chain.
Oh my
didn't
goodness.
connect, but Ice still has nowhere to run. They're still chasing down this poor Rek'Sai. Ice got nowhere to go. Push going to come in through mid, but that's going to be responded by instantly by Resurgence.
That's a difficult one. No obvious response for Quake. He can't do all that much going into the situations. His best bet really is to just sit far behind, but then that removes the agency that the Jinx has. Jinx is a hit, wants to try and push that lead, but with the constant looming threat of the Red Hecarim, how can he do so? So Quake really has to try and optimize for a defensive item quickly. We can already see the stopwatch coming through. That's a band-aid solution. It will save him in this next upcoming fight, but it needs to translate into something greater if they want to survive further into the game. I'm looking forward to see what they have in store for themselves, because right now Lissandra, although not very far ahead, is pretty comparable to the LeBlanc right now, which is a good thing. Lissandra is able to clear out the waves, means that the rest of the team can focus on positioning themselves in a more aggressive or defensive manner, depending on what they're trying to look to do.
Well, you see the gold totals right now. It's about a 2,000 gold lead in that top lane for Resurgence, and that's both a good and a bad thing, because Senjukai, with all that gold on to the Hecarim, if they're not part of the fight, Resurgence is effectively down almost 4,000 gold because of all that gold being on the Hecarim. If Hecarim ain't around, that gold isn't being utilized, but does have a Righteous Glory now complete as well. So should be able to join in on these fights. Oh no, Kra. A little bit caught out here, and there comes the Hecarim from the side. The flank, it's a drive-by at this point. Decent amount of damage. Super Mega Death Rocket able to get some damage here from Quake. They're able to keep getting the rockets in there with the Get Excited and the lethal tempo.
They
can do well.
A bad situation into a passable situation. It's a 2-for-1. It's not great, but they do manage to at least take something back for it, but they will end up losing this mid lane outer tier turret as well. That's going to be quite painful for them. Once this outer tier wall has been broken open by RSG, it really opens up a lot more of the map coming through. We've already seen how aggressive Shinsekai is with his map movements. This gives a lot more free space for him to try and get the flanks off, the intercepts onto Quake, onto Vendetta. And if he's able to do so, that is going to spell disaster for SVR.
Resurgence are able... Resurgence going to go ahead. They're able to tie up this gold lead. It's 40,000 apiece. 9-9 on the kills. We got a dragon coming up in about a minute and a half. Raven jumps in. Prey Seeker going to connect. We'll see here from Sela. Has teleport also available. Yun in the bot lane. Oh no, Horsey's mad. Hecarim's looking to chase him on down. Righteous Glory also going to pop here, and Shinsekai doesn't even care what you throw at him. Sure, you can Blade Surge all you want, but still going to get cleaved down.
Yeah, even with Raven coming down, just for good measure, the Hecarim will be able to find that kill first by himself.
Oh, Frozen Tomb lands on top of it. Super Mega Death Rocket goes on to Eternal. Some decent damage is going to be there, and the rockets pour on in. Quake gets excited, can keep on going into this fight. Another one's going to connect, and they're going to keep on chasing down. Double kill for the Jinx. Teleport, though, going to come out here from Senjukai. Has a Guardian Angel, said, hey, that's a quick buy, and Raven can look to finish off the game here. Triple kill. Oh, my goodness, from Senjukai.
Comes in with the teleport with the triple item threat. Just going to kill off members of Sovereign. Now they're looking for this Baron. Yon has teleport, but can't do anything by himself, doesn't look like. The rest of the team gonna take a while. Oh my goodness, they do not have the fastest Baron clear now, do they?
Yeah, that's also that's a Karma taking a decent chunk of damage. Takes a while here. They'll get it soon enough. Oh no. Oh, Karma, okay. Gets it. That's also a teleport. They're burning a lot here. Now the Kai'Sa's in. Let's take a look here during the fight.
Yeah, so this actually started out pretty well for Sovereign. They managed to find a nice engage on the Ciela, but I think this really is a big turning point. So look at this. Ice jumps onto the Kai'Sa, but even with all that damage, just looking at the shields from the Karma, provides basically double of her remaining health at this point. It gives her so much more time to survive, and that stalls out the fight. And here, Ice waits for Shizukai to jump in, doesn't expect this onslaught to jump in with. He doesn't expect Shizukai to still have this big ultimate, and that totally splits up the fight. Quake managed to drop off into the stopwatch at that point, but it doesn't make a difference. They're still going to get wiped out. And while all that was happening, Resurgence have picked up this Baron.
Oh, geez, I've seen this before. Yun, it doesn't end well. I'm sorry to spoil it for you, but now Raven's also going to come on by, and oh, geez, it's just not pretty. That's a 9-0 and 5 Hecarim.
Yeah, Hecarim now looking like a very good response over into the Irelia.
Resurgence, they said, hey, you gave us a Tryndamere last week, we're going to give you a horse. That is only fair.
And Hecarim isn't even the most off-meta pick we've seen so far. Hecarim looks like one of the most meta picks that we've seen so far.
Baron Buff going to go ahead, get some damage with that Training Force 2. Hecarim can shred apart these towers. Second tier tower going to fall. It's a 4,000 gold lead for Resurgence now.
It almost feels like whichever team has that niche pick is the team that ends up winning, doesn't it, Opal?
Kinda, yeah. Kinda think it is. You know, Sigma had themselves a bit of a weird one with the Shen jungle.
Yeah, the Space Dragon delivery.
It's a Space Dragon delivery.
We also saw
Mordekaiser Blitzcrank.
Mordekaiser Blitzcrank on Hasty. Now Resurgence. They have that Hecarim in top lane. We'll see how this pans out for them. They are in a very good spot right now. Before that Baron, Hecarim had 3 items. He had the Triforce, he had the Guardian's Angel, and the Righteous Glory. Now, you add that Yoma's Ghost Blade and the Ruby Crystal to boot. So much additional move speed, so much additional strength is really going to be able to be a huge threat over onto Quake. Quake doesn't have any options right now. In this usual circumstance, what could happen is that the support could exhaust the Hecarim quickly enough to try and reduce as much of the damage as possible. But because Kra had to run heal to supplement for the lack of sustain in the bot lane, it's now much more difficult for them to end up in those situations.
Additionally, too, it's a Guardian Angel completed by Quake. Guess he understands, you know, they keep getting caught out. Only thing is, there's not a whole lot of lifesteal then in this Jinx. It's likely only coming from runes. The secondary domination, I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Which, that or the legendary rune choice on the side of the precision tree. But other than that, you don't have like a Bloodthirster, so you can't really survive in these fights for that long. Really just hoping to get one good rocket in there on a crit, get excited, get things going with lethal tempo. Sure, maybe that works out, but other than that, it's an all-in approach.
Yeah, lifesteal is one of the most expensive stats in the game. So it makes sense that Quake is opting not to try and go for that with too much priority. Instead, just going to be taking the safer route, goes for the crit. And with a lot of burst on the side of RSG, trying to survive and sustain for a long time isn't exactly within their best interest as well. Or isn't exactly in their strengths, rather.
So Baron's going to time out here. They're able to get a lot of damage onto the inhibitor towers. Not able to break one just yet. Going to wait for a wave or two. They continue this push. There we go. Raven's going to jump over the wall, get some damage there onto Ice. Next minion wave about 10 seconds out from that top lane. Look at this, though. Oh, that's a fast horse. Go ahead and knock down the inhibitor tower. SVR feels like they're letting this go. So Resurgence able to crack open the base at 29 minutes.
You know, this is as Fish would say. He would say, you give up the first inhibitor turret, but at the second inhibitor, you have to make a stand to fight. I agree with him. At this point of the game, it's fine to give a little bit over to Resurgence. that goal difference from the turret is not going to be what's making or breaking the game. Instead, it's a lot of other factors, such as who the strength is on, the item completion on the Jinx, how much CC they have to peel for the Jinx. Instead, that inhibitor is really just a way to get RSG to feel like they've accomplished something in the game, enough that they feel like they can back off and not push for more. Because that's what Sovereign is most afraid of. If Resurgence are pushing for more, then it's going to be critical for Sovereign to try and force a fight and respond to it. So they're very content with just giving up that mid lane inhibitor and holding on. Meanwhile, looks like RSG is trying to pick up this second Infernal Dragon of the game. Just about 10 seconds until it spawns up.
This is a pretty big one for Resurgence too. Without this, SVR, they're going to be pretty far behind in the damage. You'd really like to get this second Infernal, especially if you're running, let's say, a Jinx. Kai'Sa will equally enjoy it. And Baron now up in 30. Senjukai, oh, he's speeding. He's got the Righteous Glory. They're just looking to cut them off here, and SVR are forced out to turn back. Ball lane. Wave is starting to form. They're going to go ahead, invade into the jungle, steal away the buffs, take away any gold that could be available for SVR, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, really try and starve out SVR, take away all the additional jungle camps, clear out as many waves as possible, and try and force them on the turret. Good plays coming in from RSG. They're looking to try and end off the game, but this is also a similar situation to what we saw in the previous SVR RSG match. RSG know how to get to this point, but it's closing out the game that they had issues the last time around. They slipped up a little bit and ended up being punished for it. This time around, SVR, they don't have that Tryndamere in the top lane. They have an Irelia who is not doing too hot this game, so they might not be able to replicate that same kind of game.
He's coming out from Resurgence. Still not too sure exactly where SVR are. Lots of ward coverage here. Senjukai. Spotted out there finally by the ward coming out. Croc going to be able to avoid the Prey Seeker. And Resurgence, reset, repeat. This time though, they look to start up the Baron. Got themselves two Infernals, so this will go down pretty fast unless SVR look to try and respond. Young's gone all the way down. Things are there. They have to assume this is now being taken. What is their call going to be? Now a teleport comes in, but so late at this point. Sure, you get the knock-up onto Sela. Will it be enough, though? Knock-up is going to be there. Quake's going to be stuck inside the Cataclysm. They're able to take down the Rek'Sai, but they do take back in response the Kai'Sa.
Not all that great value down in that fight. They managed to find the 80 carry kill, but that's it. Instead, Baron on the 4 members of RSG, they're going to have a field day with this. They're going to be able to push out so easily. And so SVR don't have many things that you can do. They didn't expect that sheer clear speed on the Baron, especially since the last time it took so long. SVR held off on the teleport, waited out a potential mind game play from Resurgence, and it ended up being a easy Baron call for Resurgence overall.
Senjukai looking to back off here. They push back over. Now with Baron once more, Resurgence can look to try and break open the base of SVR. They got the mid lane exposed. Minions starting to group up here toward Bop. Sela's already there. Senjukai going to be waiting in the wings. This is going to bounce back when the next wave hits. Just going to double check, make sure no one's around. SVR, what do they look to do here? How can they turtle this game out and keep it from ending? Decent damage, though, comes out on Quake. And again, without that lifesteal or nothing, really, I don't even think they're running lifesteal in the Legendary tree. So Quake is forced to go back every time a fight doesn't go their way. Look at this, though. They're starting to get clinched in upon by the side of Resurgence. The Turtle leaps forward. We got minions now starting to pour in from the mid lane. That inhibitor is going to respawn here quite shortly. Resurgence looks to finish this one out.
Yeah, gaming the sights. Resurgence, they have a strong push. Minion wave coming down to the bot side. Fight breaking out.
Gonna try for it. Turtle. Oh, that's a 3-man Cataclysm into a 3-man Hecarim ultimate. Sure, you got the Vanguard's edge. Will it be enough, though, from the side of Youth? Quake, able to do what he can, but gets obliterated. Quake, though, keeps it going. Super Mega Death Rocket not able to finish off the kill. Guess what, Shinji, he's just going to go back to base. He has teleport available. Resurgence look like they're able to tie up their series 1-1 when it comes to the group stage against Sovereign. That's going to be the GA being popped on both the Rek'Sai and the Jinx. Nowhere to run on the side of Quake. And Resurgence are able to step up, take revenge in week 2 of the round robin. And they are able to tie the breaker between the two teams 1-1.
This looks like a game where top lane honestly has so much impact. Resurgence and Sovereign play pivotally around that top lane matchup. The Irelia versus the Hecarim. Hecarim came in as a counter pick, had the Ignite, had a strong lane matchup. Despite Irelia's early lead, was still able to pick up that matchup. Shinji, I have to say, was my MVP for that match. That game really went the way it did because of the fact that Hecarim managed to take the early game for himself, despite the fact that it was going to be difficult.
Well, that's the thing about Hecarim. It's also the issue. If you're not able to get the Hecarim rolling, can feel quite useless. But,
That's
you
true.
know, if you're able to get a 1v1 go in your favor early in the game, you get some assistance from your jungle as well. Yeah, he's going to be pretty good. At one point, he was 9-0-5, you know, 14 KDA. I think he's feeling quite good.
That was a pretty good one overall. I have to say, Shinji coming into this, the first matchup that he had, which was the one we saw at the Tryndamere versus Sylas matchup, was difficult. It was an unorthodox matchup that they didn't have that much information, they didn't have that much prep for it. But coming into a more traditional, conventional matchup, Shinji is very comfortable going up against the Irelia. He has to go up against a ton of Irelias in games. So bringing in the Hecarim, unsurprising to see, he managed to play that matchup very well. Rest of Resurgence did their jobs as well. I have to say, but both sides, the level of gameplay, level of skill is rising, and that's a very exciting thing to see.
So when it comes to this group now, top of the group is tied 3-1. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the replays, some of the highlights from that game.
So this was a fight that really started to cement the fact that despite SVR getting a good catch, getting the fight in their favor, were only barely able to find little more than a few consolation kills. Whereas on the side of RSG, they come in, they have the big AoE, the redemption that catches 4 members of Sovereign to boot. Just going to be a cherry on top. It's going to be that nice little icing that really just helps smooth over and makes that win all the more sweeter.
Yeah, you saw there some shutdown gold. You give another 900 to a fed Hecarim, you ain't going to have a good day.
No.
On top of that, too, there was a lot of fights that were so drawn out that Shinji with a Baron buff could actually go back to base in the other lane and then teleport in with home guards with his move speed buff.
My goodness,
So he just came on in. He was like, hello, I'm a horse. Hello. Time for death. Come on in with my rainbow pony.
that was a good one. That was a good one. Let's take a quick look at our post-game stats. RSG come up with the win there. Look at that damage on that guy. 23.4 thousand damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage there, Brandon. That's going to hurt.
I'm starting to feel like Karma is really shaping up to be a high priority pick. That game really started to cement for me. Looking at the damage that SVR had, the fact that they had the lead, that they were trying to push this lead, Karma, in a lot of circumstances, a lot of instances, really managed to get them out of this danger zone. And there we go. 10 out of 10.
20 KDA. It's hard to argue with this one. We talk about sometimes, you know, production's a little KDA based. Well, that one's,
At 20.
That one's valid. That's a valid MVP. So congrats there to Senshi Sky. Going to be able to take home that MVP to start off week 4, or week 2 for the group, I should say, as well as their first day of competition heading into this one. And that's great for them. If Resurgence and SVR decide to, you know, play out all their matches and they're able to take the victories and all that, we'll have at least one more game between the pair.
Effectively a best of 3. You know, both sides managed to take that in one game, so now we're looking to see what happens in that tiebreak. Because as long as things go according to planned, right? Because my goodness, we've been seeing a number of very high-profile upsets. We're looking at the upsets coming in from Hayseed, from Destro. I mean, what is even going on anymore, Opal?
Yeah, you know, stuff doesn't make too much sense. Well, at least their first couple of games. This one it could go either way, obviously. It was a close matchup in our first week, and now this one, it was equally. But we're going to go ahead and take a small break. When we come back, though, it's going to be our 5th match of the night between Climax and a Bob and Fred.